Welcome to this YouTube channel. In this video we are going to talk about rich people think different. I adopted rich people's habits. So before starting this video, like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. The secret to success, according to successful people, is their habits. That's why lists highlighting these very successful people's habits are so popular. As a result of having access to these lists, you may be inspired to create these habits in your own life. The number of successful people who rely on habits to govern elements of their lives and achieve success is more important than the habit itself. Take, for example, financial guru Jeff Rose, aka the wealth hacker. He was still unfulfilled after leaving a large brokerage firm to start his own, despite earning six figures, owning a wonderful home, and beginning a family. This was the case. I didn't know what I was missing, Rose explains, but I knew it was there. Furthermore, he was unable to express his feelings to his wife, family, or friends, so I started researching and looking at successful company leaders and entrepreneurs, as well as simply chatting with other mentors and successful business people. I was attempting to unlock what it was that I was lacking, Rose adds, and it was during this research that he discovered very successful people's habits. He made tiny changes in his life to acquire these behaviors. Despite his initial skepticism, they eventually had a significant impact on his personal and professional lives. So, what were these alterations that he made? So, here are the 6 behaviors of wealthy people that Rose claims would transform your life. Alright, so I'm going to start with the bedroom, Rose says, since this was by far the biggest modification of all of them. But, specifically, what did he alter? Rose, who was a single parent with small children at the time, had a practice of going to bed around midnight, 1 or 2 a.m. I was researching online marketing. I was expanding businesses like crazy, and I just got a lot of work done in the evenings or later evenings after my wife went to bed. After my kids went to bed, just living that hustle, he continues. However, I didn't even set my alarm because of the manner I woke up every morning, he continues. Alright, so I'm going to start with the bedroom. Until he read Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, he would literally just roll out of bed every morning, not realizing how unproductive this was. I learned that if you start your day with no intention, no purpose, you are missing out on so much. Rose says, you're not aware of how inattentive and uncommitted you are on that particular day. Rose began to question why he didn't have a daily ritual after examining other wealthy people and their morning habits. Why wasn't I waking up with a sense of purpose and intent like other wealthy people? For example, Tim Cook, Apple's CEO, gets up at 3:45 every morning. He claims Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, gets up at 4:00 a.m. to conduct his extreme workouts. And entrepreneur Gary Vaynerchuk gets up at 6:00 a.m. every morning, despite having probably not slept at all the night before. However, all of these folks, all of these wealthy people I read about, their morning routines were all they were getting up early and simply rolling out of bed. He continues, the intention was to get up and read a book in order to get some exercise. There's a reason behind all of this, so I started doing that, and I give Hal Elrod's Miracle Morning credit for it. If you're having difficulties getting to bed in the first place, here are 8 things you should do to feel refreshed when you wake up. At least 20 minutes before bedtime. Avoid using electronics. At night, maintain a stress-free environment. Unwind and unwind. Avoid eating or drinking right before going to bed. Set your phone to do not disturb or airplane mode. Maintain a regular sleep routine. Every day, make a list of 5 things for which you are grateful. Remember to set an alarm so you have ample time to get ready in the morning. What was Rose's next change? Make physical activity a top priority. To be honest, it's not all that unexpected. I learned that if you start your day with no intention, no purpose, you are missing out on so much, writes Thomas C. Corley in his book Change Your Activities, Change Your Life, based on a 5-year study of the daily habits of 177 self-made millionaires. Aerobic exercises include things like running, jogging, walking, and biking. He wrote, cardio is not only excellent for the body, but it is also good for the intellect. It makes the brain's neurons / brain cells / expand. Exercise also boosts glucose synthesis. He added, glucose is a source of energy for the brain. The more food you give your brain, the bigger it gets and the smarter you get. Furthermore, regular exercise releases endorphins, which boost your mood. It will also offer you more energy and discipline, as well as maybe open up networking chances. Exercise is also a good strategy to achieve a better night's sleep. What if you're short on time? You can schedule exercise by putting it in your calendar. This manner, it'll be just like any other appointment you wouldn't miss. Exercise should also be included in your morning routine. Also, take a walk or jog during your work breaks. Praying for others, listening to worship music, and meditating should all be part of your daily practice, especially in the morning. This allows you to disengage and give your brain a break. As Rose says, additionally, there is evidence that by meditating, you are allowing your brain to rest actively. As a result, your compassion and inventiveness increase. This also aids in the reduction of stress, anxiety, and sadness. Prayer and meditation also help us to escape the fight or flight response. Dr. Paul Hochmeyer, a marriage, family, and addictions therapist, says, prayer and meditation are tremendously beneficial in decreasing our response to traumatic and negative situations. Cardio is not only excellent for the body, but it is also good for the intellect. They are effective because they direct our attention away from ourselves. Our limbic system, also known as our central nervous system, becomes hyperactivated during times of stress, which does two things. It thrusts us into survival mode, where we freeze, fight, or flee the situation, so that we move away from the present state of being into a future state, explains Dr. Hochmeyer. This also inhibits our ability to think clearly by shutting down our executive functions. This is why, when we're stressed, we're more likely to make bad decisions and engage in self-destructive behavior. Rose, like so many of us, would set annual objectives. I felt extremely happy that I was doing this at first, he says. However, the reality is that by the second month, by February of that year, I would have forgotten about my goals and would only reflect on them at the start of the next year. Is there a better way? Review your objectives on a regular basis. In a prior due post, Max Palmer said, figure out a pattern that works for you in which you may re-evaluate your goals and tactics periodically. Otherwise, you risk being trapped doing the same thing over long periods of time without much growth. Ask yourself, do I still want to work on this on a regular basis? Is my current strategy the greatest way to do this? Will assist you in staying on track. After all, achieving goals that are more difficult than anticipated is an uphill battle. As a result, it's simple to give up on a goal since we recognize how much effort it'll require. It thrusts us into survival mode, where we freeze, fight, or flee the situation, so that we move away from the present state of being into a future state. In some ways, this is a good thing because you may learn that all of the time you spent working on something was for naught. On the other hand, despite the long-term benefits, it is easy to avoid the stress and effort. He argues, if you're thinking about giving up, consider why you're thinking about it and how you really feel. Did you know that the wealthy like to be educated rather than entertained? That is correct. In fact, 88% of wealthy people dedicate 30 minutes or more each day to self-education or self-improvement reading, according to Corley, and most did not read for amusement. The wealthy read to expand or keep their knowledge, he explained. But, exactly, what do they read? According to Corley, the rich read 3 categories of literature: biographies of successful individuals, history books, and self-help or personal development books. Rose's final habit is to place a strong emphasis on the importance of relationships. It all started for Rose with a business coaching group, being able to be surrounded by other successful entrepreneurs, small business owners who were all devoted to expanding. He says, on the other hand, despite the long-term benefits, it is easy to avoid the stress and effort. What do you think about this video? Do let us know down in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from us again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go.